11 people detained in Ghana after being deported from the United States have sued the West African nation's government. The deportees have not violated any Ghanaian law, and their detention in a military camp was therefore illegal. The government has not yet commented on the lawsuit, but has previously said that it plans to accept another 40 deportees. Opposition members of parliament are demanding the immediate suspension of the deportation deal until parliament ratifies it, saying this was required under Ghanaian law. And it's not only in Ghana. There's growing opposition in other countries in the continent too. Here is a report.
Pro-democracy protesters from Eswatini marched on the US Embassy in Pretoria in opposition to a deal that would see their country receive immigrants deported from the US. Activists at the protests carried banners demanding an end to absolute monarchy, alleging that the country's monarch, King Eswatini III, was being paid a substantial sum of money in the deal. Philile Kumalo, one of the protest organizers, said that there was too much poverty in Eswatini and that no one in the country would benefit from the alleged money.
Just the other day, stats came out to say Swaziland is the second highest in suicide rates in Africa. And I mean, those are social economic issues that are actually causing that, because there's just so much poverty. Yet there's a man who's able to make a deal between himself and the US government to say he will take $500 million, and none of that is going to be received by the Swazi people. No way that the Swazi people are going to actually benefit from any of that. So that's why today we are standing here.
Similar scenes were witnessed in Ugandans as many questioned an agreement with the United States to receive deported migrants, highlighting the lack of parliamentary approval and that the deal eases political pressure on the country's authoritarian president. Ugandan officials have released few details about the agreement, although said they preferred to receive deportees of African origin and didn't want individuals with criminal records. However, the country is being put forward as a possible location for high-profile detainee Kilmar Abrego Garcia, an El Salvador native who has been charged with human smuggling. Abrego Garcia, the subject of a protracted immigration saga, was detained by immigration officials in Baltimore, and the Department of Homeland Security said in a statement that he is being processed for removal to Uganda. Local resident Alex Masereka Joel said it didn't make sense for Abrego Garcia to be sent to Uganda.
I think the US should copy from other countries to be welcoming to people because Abrego is from that American hemisphere. It wouldn't be good to bring him to, say, Africa, where he has totally no connection. He has no, I was reading that even he speaks Spanish, doesn't speak English. So he's going to be thrown in a place where he'll probably need like a translator. So the US on its part should be welcoming people in its hemisphere.
It remains unclear precisely what Ugandan authorities are getting in return for accepting deportees.
Of course I'm worried because some of them are criminals. Some of them you don't know what they've been doing the other side. You don't know, you know, people when they are starting over, you've been somewhere and you have to start again. So life gets hard. So you find yourself doing something you wouldn't have done if you had stayed in your real life. So I'm a bit worried.
And then there is Ghana, where Ghanaians were divided on President John Dramani Mahama's decision to accept West African deportees from the United States, with some praising it as Pan-African solidarity, while others voiced economic concerns.
We were approached by the US to
Critics raised concerns about increased job competition and possible rises in crime rates.
Receiving all those people, it can be tough for him. And I don't think so if it can it can be easy, like it can be the piece of cake to give to all those people the jobs. So for that I can say our president, I can say John Mahama, should think about all those problems without receiving them.
These third country deals are becoming a growing trend as the US and other Western nations crack down on illegal immigration. But critics warn that these policies raise serious concerns about human rights, due process and fairness. Africa Bureau, WION, World is One.